Thank you very much, my brother Ben. First and foremost, we must start by thanking His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, who is the Commander-in-Chief of our Defense Forces, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, particularly for having honored this day in solidarity with Kenyan workers by putting on a purple suit. We cannot take this for granted. We recognize that you recognize workers, and also in your position as a worker number one. I know I want to be very brief, but I want also to tell all of you who are here, who have assembled here to listen to us, that mvua haitanyesha. Kwa ajili kule nakotoka, wana uwezo wa kusimamisha mvua tukiwa na sherehe kama ya leo. Na hiyo kazi imeanza kufanywa. Tulituma mmoja wetu anaitwa Mheshimiwa Omboko Miremba kwa ajili grandfathers wake ndio huwa wanasimamisha hii mvua kutoka kule sehemu za nyumbani. Na nataka kumshukuru Mheshimiwa Omboko Miremba, who is also the chairman of KUPPET, for the good work you have done, and it will not rain. I want to recognize our Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, who came here earlier and who has been supportive to workers' cause, and also recognize Governor Sakaja. Wengi wenu mnajua wakati wa Labor Day, mimi niliwauliza huyo kijana mnipatie Mheshimiwa Sakaja, and you did a good job, kamfanya senator wa Nairobi. Sakaja grew up with my children. Sakaja has been part of my family, and that is why. And we are not saying that the performance vis-a-vis his position might not be satisfactory, but we must develop channels such as the one I've developed, and I communicate to him on issues of informal sector in Nairobi and what is happening and how we can make our city to be beautiful without really throwing stones at him. I want to recognize my cabinet secretary, who is also a former labor leader from the Union of KUPPET, Sister Florence Bore, who has been with us, who has worked closely with us, who has opened her offices for all labor leaders in this country, and I want to thank you, Mama. Those cabinet secretaries who might be around here with us, recognize you. Our Principal Secretary, Minister of Labor, Social Protection, State Department for Labor, Honorable Shadrach Mwangola Mwadime, Principal Secretary, Minister of Labor and Social Protection, State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs, Honorable Joseph Mogosi Motari. Other Principal Secretaries present, my twin sister, Executive Director of Federation of Kenya Employers, Sister Chaglin Mugo, the Honorable Member of Parliament for this area, young man Felix Jalango, is very much known as Jalas. Honorable Pasaris, our women rep in this city, ambassadors and high commissioners, managing trustee of our National Social Security Fund, Brother David Koros, the Chief Executive Officer, National Hospital Insurance Fund, Brother Elijah Washira, and the Acting Director General, National Industrial Training Authority, Sister Teresa Wasike, my colleague of our sister union, Trade Union Congress, Charles Wire, and other public service unions which are around, including the universities. I was impressed to see your floats. and other dignitaries that are present, brothers and sisters, I want to be very much brief because our guest of honor is a person of several engagements in a day, and we cannot afford to keep him here for a longer time. Na nataka munisikize kidogo. Kama nasikia hii nasema nasitaka asikie. Kabla sijamuomba, nataka kwanza ni recognize yale mazuri ametufanyia. Roho yake irudi chini sana. Aelewe sisi kama wafanyikazi tuko wapi. First and foremost, Your Excellency, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for honoring our invitation. Our chief guest today. This is our 59th Labor Day celebrations under the theme of the work you are doing, that Kenyan workers stand for advanced information technology training to drive our digital economy. Your Excellency, that's where the world is going. The world is going digital, and that is why our executive board decided that theme. Let me also thank Your Excellency for assembling, that was a day before yesterday, assembling over 21 heads of government, including 14 presidents, during the International Development Association Summit in Nairobi. Your Excellency, I want to remind you, since I've been around for some time, that the only president who used to assemble a such magnitude number of heads of state, particularly from Africa and abroad, was the founding father of this nation, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. And he went further to invite the different heads of the international institutions, including World Bank. As workers, we don't take it for granted. We want to echo your efforts because you are selling this country. You are coming out in a clear way to indicate to the whole world that we are able, we can host, and we can also engage those who are coming here, and also plant a sense of direction into the leadership of this continent. Once again, Your Excellency, I want to echo your continued support to workers. Invite. Since you took over as our head of state, one, you gave all of us a hearing. That was the trade union delegation, which was at State House with you on 14th of February last year, followed by presiding over our last year's Labor Day. We want to thank you, Your Excellency. We can't take it for granted. And after that, honoring the invite of the International Labour Organization Director General, Gilbert Humbo, for taking your own time to go to Switzerland, Geneva, to address more than 5,000 tripartite delegates in that conference. That shows how much you respect and you honor working men and women across the globe. And that, to us, was a plus, because since independence, no any head of state of our republic, Kenya, has had an opportunity to address the International Labour Conference. Your Excellency, you also didn't stop there. Last year, on 28th of November, you officiated and you presided over the opening of the International Trade Union Confederation at Safari Park, African region, which attracted all trade unions from all over the world. And in that conference, Your Excellency, you remember I whispered to you that here we have almost 1,000 delegates. And how will we be able, as a single center, trade union center, to manage settling even the bills of our hotels? And I reminded you, I told you in other countries where we have been, government have handicap come in to make sure that they assist the labor movement in this area. Your Excellency, we want to thank you. You didn't hesitate. Within no matter of few days, you send us 10 million Kenya shillings to assist us in offsetting the bill at Safari Park Hotel. I want to thank you for that good work. Your Excellency, the other thing we remind people today, I want my brothers and sisters to listen carefully. Because some of our people cannot be able to differentiate a trade union with a SACCO or savings and cooperative societies that we have. Trade union is a pressure group, just like Sister Jacqueline has said, that employers organization, trade union, and government through the Ministry of Labor. These are the cardinal engine, particularly the center of economic growth in any given country. And it does not require hoppers, it does not require people to hawk in. It has enormous industrial relations machinery established for all of us to follow. When I hear some people coming out with some suggestions that are irrelevant, unacceptable, and not in tune with the dance that is on the platform currently. Your Excellency, we must always remember that Africa, Asia, and Latin America, we attained our independence through the struggle of the trade union movement, including this our country. In Kenya, we will always remember and forever celebrate our founding father of this nation, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, who was part of the local government workers union, now the county government workers union. We must remember our several brothers from the Asian community. One of them was Makan Singh, who championed for registration of the trade union in this country and in East Africa. Followed by Cheke Kibachia, Agre Minya, Thomas Joseph Mboya, Fred Kubai, Vicky Wachira. Vicky Wachira was very militant, a young man in Nairobi. And Ratibu Hussein from Kibera, he was also a young man who fought closely with the labor movement for us to attain independence. We had Pio Gama Pinto, we had Ocholo Gai Makanyengo, we had Martin Shikuku, Clement Lubembe, and Dennis Akuma, among others. These were all labor leaders before independence, including Fred Kubai. And across Africa, Your Excellency, trade unionists who spearheaded their countries to independence were John Tetiga of Ghana, Ahmed Tilil of Tunisia, Paul Humphrey Luanda of Uganda, Rashid Kawawa of Tanzania, Abdoulaye Diallo of Guinea-Conakry, Demba Diop of Mali, as well as Cyril Ramaphosa, the current president of South Africa. These are the gallants, fearless fighters, people who set us free from the labor movement. And we must remember them, must have their history. They were not people who had been appointed by government on various positions and they want to pretend to be labor leaders. Change is on. And Your Excellency, today's trade union movement has changed from agitation to scientific dialogue. That is why you don't hear us on newspapers. That is why you don't hear us fighting. We are busy with the employers in boardrooms, negotiating for good terms and conditions of service of our members. And Jacqueline is here. She can bear me a witness. In my own union this year, I signed more than 44 CBAs to cushion workers from the cost of living. And some say, Atwoli, amekaa tu pale, hii mzee. Ni mzee wa ujuzi, mzee wa kisasa. We have moved from issues of advocacy, agitation, and so on, to impress upon dialogue between us and employers. And Your Excellency, nowadays, because of digital economy, e-commerce, or platform economy as it is known, we research through our go-to education and economic research department to any enterprise before we engage employer. Tunaangalia huyu ametengeneza pesa ngapi. Na ile ya juu ndio tunakuja kumwambia bwana, wewe kampuni yako imetengeneza pesa hii umenunua gari, hii umefanya hii umefanya hii pesa fulani, zingine umepeleka Dubai, zingine umepeleka Ulaya, na hizi zimebaki ndio sisi tunataka tugawanyane na wafanyikazi. We don't come to your office to excuse employers, and Jacqueline is here, blindly. We also look at the cost of living, consumer price indices, inflation rate in comparison with the national economic performance. And when we demand, you cannot escape, you cannot run away, because we will go to the industrial court with those facts and we will get what we want, or the employment and labor relations court. Sisi sio wajinga. Kuja kwako tunajua una pesa. Kama hauna tunajua hauna. The CBA has about 40 to 30 clauses. We will look into those areas. Other areas we leave financial aside. We live until we support you to maximize profit, and that profit we will share. Your Excellency, as I'm standing here, I have a slogan that an injury to one is an injury to all. Mr. Jacqueline alishikia kidogo hali ya madaktari wetu, clinical officers. Saa ingine usiku hatulali, Your Excellency. Ukisema tutafuta njia gani mwafaka, which route? Because you managed us. On 6th of March, wakati ulitangaza serikali haina pesa, you rendered court impotent, you rendered FK impotent, you rendered your Minister of Labor impotent, you rendered that committee that you had set out where my deputy was impotent, because as a worker number one, when you take over a dispute, we cannot contradict you. We can't. We have no leeway in any machinery to contradict the head of state. And we must look for channels. Pale unakaa, Your Excellency, sio rahisi kufika. Kule ndani wewe ulikuwa free. Zamani ulikuwa unakuja kwa nyumba yangu nyumbani, unajua familia yangu, ukitengeneza chama chako cha URP, ilikuwa mtu tu unaweza kutana na yeye kwa njia, unakula na yeye mahindi. Little did we know, even we people who are in Azimio, utatoka nyuma upite kwa sisi namna hivyo na uwe president. So that position ukufikia sio rahisi. But I know on each and every issue you have an answer. Hiyo tunakuachia, Your Excellency. Jacqueline Muga amesema tunakuachia. And I know you are able minister. We have been in touch all the time, even the Minister of Health. Hii mambo yote tunawachia wewe. We are all your children. We are all, and we respect you. And you move faster. So Your Excellency, with your own wisdom and advisors, you will have an answer for us. And may God bless you on that. Hebu nimalize. Mungu anisaidie niwe mfupi sana kwa maneno. Your Excellency, I a little bit touched on digital e-commerce, as it is known now in the circle of International Labour Organization as platform economy. And also in other areas it is known as smart economy. For smart, we use smart gadgets, we use smart telephones, smart iPads, smart computers, smart televisions, and these are the things currently driving the economy. We want to thank you for the efforts you are making to make sure that you establish information technology centers in the whole of the Republic to make sure that our young men and women are versed with what is going to be there in future. That is where the world is going, where people will be able to earn from where they are living, from Karachuonyo, from Huisero, where I come from, and from other places, from Coast, from Kilifi, and from other places, simply because now you would have, this one opens the world and the young men to the world markets of business. And we want to thank you for that and appeal to you, Excellency. We have refurbished Tomboya Labour College at a tune of 500 million Kenya shillings without borrowing, coming from workers alone. And I want people who are making noise to visit Tomboya Labour College Kisumu. It's more than any known university in this country today. We are asking you kindly, Your Excellency, to support our efforts on that college and come and launch it as an IT center for our country, where we'll be able to train both workers, employers, and first-line managers from every farm that we deal with, and also from parastatals, and your government as well can use that institution. Your Excellency, you appointed me on Social Health Insurance Authority, SHIA. And we are migrating to this new authority from National Hospital Insurance Fund. We support you very much on this. And more so the people you appointed on this SHIA board are capable people, people who are committed, Your Excellency, to help you, including the PS Health, including the current acting CEO, and more so the chairman, Dr. Luenyi. But I want to appeal to you, Your Excellency. You need to come in and assist us to make sure that infrastructure is within the Ministry of Health, is dealt with quickly, so that we can be within framework of making sure that as we start registration, everything is in order and everything is going on as planned. But we will support you in this area. Some of us, where you are either, as I'm telling you, it has capable members of the board that I have never seen in another board. People who are concerned, Your Excellency, to support you. Only little bit extend your hand in support of what they are trying to come up with. On the issue of housing, you remember you did lectures about this when last year during Labor Day, and you convinced us as workers that we must support you. And when I asked your ministry, which is in charge, whether workers will have an opportunity to be on that board, and after consultation with their office, they are allowed us, as per the current act, to appoint one of us on that particular board. The purpose is we as workers will support it financially. But the eye on that board also, when there will be allotment, because we have some shop stewards and workers who have even nowhere to sleep, they will have an opportunity to be housed in this new venture that you have started. And it is not only in Africa. Algeria, they did it. Egypt, they did it. And so many other African countries, they did it. And as I've said, the only problem with our country, Your Excellency, is that we were not used to paying taxes. And when you said everybody should pay tax, it became as an alien issue in this country. Because a normal Kenyan would like to eat without working, would like to make money without earning. And this is where the problem is. I want to end there, Your Excellency. I don't want to tire you. But the last area I want to ask you, because I said I will recognize all good things you have done for workers of this country. And you will continue doing these things. And next year we will be with you. And other years to come. And we will give you support as a pressure group. And when we are called to kiitwa tutaitika sisi. Research yetu inatuambia, Your Excellency. But I don't know what is in your pocket. Kama unaweza kunja macho. Because Jacqueline said, oh, general wage increase, that is employer now, is not anchored on any law. We must have wages council sit and discuss and see how this general wage works. Let me remind my sister here, my twin sister. In 1972, when our economy was not performing, we were doing badly. Then the late president, the founding father of this nation, Mr. Jomo Kenyatta, announced general wage increase at that time of 15%, can you imagine, to everybody. And he also asked employers to increase their workforce by 10% in order to alleviate or to reduce unemployment in our country. Which law was it anchored to? Anything that comes from the mouth of the president, let me tell you, people, anything that the president akikusalamia jambo, that is law. That is law. Usifikirie utaenda kutafuta law ingine pale ingine. So wacha tupeleke president pole pole na tumwangalie tumchunge na yeye atatuchunga. Na tunaomba yeye atupatie 22.5% or whatever he has put in his pockets. Ama tena nimesema vibaya. Nikiomba hiyo nimesema vibaya. And let me remind our economists, even when our shilling was being devalued, we said on 14th of January that this devaluation of our shilling, which was on speedy rush, did not reflect the true economic activities on the ground. Because most of you economists, you are around the year 2007 to 2009, when we had a global economic and financial crisis, when Obama was coming in. This did not affect Africa because our economy is driven, our formal economy is driven by informal economy, which has huge of deposits in our banks. We don't rely to money from outside. Mama Chondo, Mama Mboga, Jua Kali, wanapeleka pesa kwa banki kila siku na Chondo. And that is why our economy is steady. And I want to appeal to His Excellency to give infrastructure to our informal sector, to support them and ask governors in various county governments to make sure that markets are built, the informal sector people are not harassed by taxes and so on. These are the people who drive our economy. And Kenya is one. After His Excellency akisema 30%. And we work hard to redouble our efforts in various places to correct the economic anomaly. We will still spur economic growth. We thank you, Your Excellency, the President. May I invite our Honorable Minister for Labor, who has done a commendable job, to make her remarks and follow the rest of the protocol. I thank you, Your Excellency.